You've been warned.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2022 action horror comedy Slayers. The film is co-written and directed by K. Asher Levin, and it stars Thomas Jane, Cara Haywood, Jack Donnelly, Lydia Hurst, Malin Ackerman, and Abigail Breslin. Right, the film focuses on a number of popular influencers and social media streamers who are invited by a very influential businessman to come to their mansion to be offered a huge business opportunity that they just can't turn down. So they are escorted to the premises in a beautiful limo, treated like the superstars that they think they are. Whilst on the way, they are stopped and warned by Thomas Jane's character, Elliot, who is basically a vampire hunter. He tells them not to bother going. They go anyway. And guess what? It's a trap by some ancient vampires that are interested in these streamers, or certainly some of them, because it will help them move forward in regards to taking over the world and all that twaddle. Right. What are my thoughts on Slayers? Well, I have to be honest, guys. I thought this film was pretty garbage. And I was really disappointed by that. I thought it sounded fun. I like Thomas Jane. I thought in the right hands, Thomas Jane would have been perfect in this film, in this role. The concept sounds certainly interesting and pretty cool. They just absolutely dropped the ball on this one. I mean, dropped the bollocks, never mind the ball on this one. It's appalling. It's supposed to be a comedy, and it is cringeworthy, the humour in this thing. It is... There's very little to recommend here. The vampire stuff is dull, and they're useless, the vampires. You see, it's one of those films where you see vampires in some scenes, in flashback scenes and things like that. They look really vicious, in a sense of it shows them killing someone in seconds. You know, you see them strike off screen, and then you see the blood splatter up the wall. You're thinking, oh, they're pretty lethal, are these buggers? But when you get down to it later in the film, when, you know, characters are confronting these vampires, they're useless, and they get taken out really easily, and you're just like, God, that's terrible. So the vampires are useless, and they're the kind of vampires where you think, well, how have you survived this long? You're absolutely terrible at what you do. And then you've got these streamers. Now, I get the fact that they're trying to make them as unlikable as possible. I understand that. You know, they're trying to make it so they're really egotistical, full of themselves, think they're really important, all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure there are many influencers and streamers out there that do feel like that. But it makes them deeply unlikable. It makes you want to see them get munched. You've absolutely nobody to root for. And they give you two characters to try and root for, which is the Thomas Jane character and the Cara Haywood character, Flynn, who's like a popular gamer streamer. Who kind of team up to take on the vampires later in the film. But again, it's just dull stuff. When you finally see Thomas Jane Unleashed, which is way too long into this film. I mean, the film spends most of its time giving us exposition, giving us flashback scenes, so on and so forth, with really terrible editing, with, you know, flashy ravey music and annoying screen graphics and all that kind of stuff, that's trying to obviously reach a younger audience, obviously made by people that've got absolutely no idea what a younger audience want to watch, and the audience members that are interested in seeing something like this, like me, and people maybe, you know, who like these sort of movies like me, you're just cringing watching it. Absolutely cringing watching it. And they had gold on their hands here if they'd have handled this right. You got Thomas Jane in your lead. This guy was the Punisher, for God's sake. He's badass when you put him in the right film. And they make him basically do like a James Woods impression from Vampires, the John Carpenter Vampires film, walking around in a leather jacket with a big gruff beard, growling at everything. And then, like I say, when you finally see him unleashed on these vampires, it's just not that impressive or interesting. And the film tries way too hard to be Zombieland for vampires. And it's even got Abigail Breslin in it, who was in Zombieland, the two Zombieland films. And it's still hard to believe that she was the little girl in Signs. Wow, where does time go? But yeah, this is not a film I can recommend. I really struggled with this one, guys. I almost turned it off a couple of times because it was just so annoying and frustrating to watch. The action was not good. The vampires weren't imposing or scary. The characters were seriously annoying. And it was edited together so terribly. I mean, at one point in the film, they're attacking these vampires. And there's like fight scene, and there's scuffles with the vampires. And every time one of them gets hit, whether it be the human character or the vampire character, you get this thwack or baff or whatever it is coming up on screen, like you used to get in, like, the Batman TV series from the 60s. It's like, what are they playing at that? How is that funny? There's nothing about this film funny. Didn't even raise even a quarter of a smile throughout all of this film. I was so desperately disappointed with this one. It was so bad, really, guys, and it's not a film I can absolutely recommend at all. Really, really disappointed with this one, which is why I've scored it so lowly. So, yeah, don't give this one a go, guys. It's a real shame, I think, to see Thomas Jane reduced to roles like this. He deserves better than this, and what on earth they thought they were making with this one, I genuinely don't know, but it was certainly not worth my time, and it certainly wasn't worth you. It won't be worth your time either, guys. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll be back with more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.